Here at the lab, we test a lot of inverters, and every once in a while, you come across a product that just makes sense. Not because it's the flashiest thing, and not because the marketing is amazing, but because when you look at the features, the use cases, and the value of the product, you just go, yeah, this is a solid unit. And in this case, one of those products that we feel that way about is EG4's 12,000 XP. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. And there's no such thing as the perfect inverter for every single person. Some people need something smaller, some people need something bigger, some people have use cases where another option might just make sense. But for a lot of people who are looking for a serious off-grid inverter, the 12,000 XP might actually be the best buy for you. As always, we'll leave links to this in the description down below if you want to check it out, as well as any discount codes that we can get to save you guys some money on this thing. But let's just jump right into what makes this inverter stand out. Simply put, we are always testing things here at the lab. We have multiple walls like this, but we have inverters and batteries and sub panels mounted to them. We're always running products through testing. And what we've realized over time is there's a couple inverters that we're always reaching for, and one of them is the 12,000 XP. Whether we're trying to test batteries or just set up a system for simplicity's sake for an explanation video, a lot of times this is the product that comes flying off the shelf because it just makes sense. And here's the two main reasons why we think we're always grabbing for this. The biggest thing, I think, is the 12,000 XP is like the Goldilocks zone for inverters. With a 12,000 watt output and a 24,000 watt solar input, this is big enough for a serious off-grid setup. And the reality is a lot of people, a lot of you guys are not building a massive dream home setup right out of the gate. You're probably starting your solar journey with something like a small cabin, a garage, a shed, a small home, a starter backup setup that could potentially become something bigger one day. And this 12,000 XP fits a lot of those real world projects really, really well. It's nice because with 12,000 watts of output, you can get started with like a small cabin or something that might not even demand that. And there's room to grow within this inverter. The 24,000 watts of solar is actually insane. Like, I don't think many people will ever actually max that out, which is sweet because it just means that as you add batteries to your system, you can keep adding solar to your system and build it realistically as big as you want, because I highly doubt most people are ever going to cap that out. You could charge 100 kilowatt hours of batteries in 4 hours with this thing. That's insane. And the reality is, in an off-grid application, 12,000 watts is actually a lot. Even big hybrid inverters like a FlexBoss or a SolarArc 18, a lot of those don't even get much higher. You're looking at like a 18,000 watt output max. So 12,000 is actually really competitive for what it is. And what this one does really nice is, even though it's extremely capable, it doesn't feel overly complicated. And that's one of the big reasons that we always reach for it, because it's super simple to set up. It's very easy to change the settings. It's very beginner friendly. A lot of bigger systems require a lot more technical knowledge or support over the phone or whatever. This is just great because it doesn't have any of that. It's very simple. Someone who's brand new to solar could grab this thing and set it up just on the screen with the settings it comes with, the breakers that are built into it, and you're ready to go. Like, it's just very beginner friendly, yet powerful. Now, not everything is about price, and I believe that sometimes paying more for something is worth it, but somewhere that this unit really shines is the value of it. First off, it's getting older, which means it's getting cheaper. Our original review video of this, it was like $2,400-ish. And right now we've been monitoring it. And for the last little while on Signature Solar's site, it's been about 1,800 bucks, which is really competitive. Everything's also built into a unit like this. You still have a screen. A lot of inverters are getting away from screens and you have to add them on as an accessory, which costs money. You have your breakers and everything built in. You have your PV isolator built in, which sounds normal because it's what we're used to seeing, but a lot of newer systems are starting to remove things like a PV isolator and make it its own separate box that you have to mount to the wall. You have to pay more for it. If you get a smaller inverter without the breakers and stuff built in, you have to buy those additionally. You have to wire them up. So this just cuts a lot of costs by having everything built into it. And honestly, the price point it's at when you compare it to the market is insane. For example, we always talk about the 6000 XP. It's a really good entry-level inverter. We use it in a permanent setup here in the garage to run our mini split. It's also a good value, and it has a little bit obviously of a lower input, a lower output, and a lower solar input. Right now, the 6000 XP is 1,600 bucks. So for $200 more, you get like double the solar input, double the output, and basically the same framework, hardware, all that kind of stuff, like a reliable, good inverter. We frequently say like, hey, you get a 6000 XP if that's all you need. In the future, if you need another, like you want to grow, you can add another 6000 XP, parallel them, and you'd have basically the same as what this inverter offers, but that would be almost double the price to do. It might make sense, as this thing just keeps getting cheaper, to just jump into one of these right out of the gate. And it's not really fair to compare this directly to something like a FlexBoss, because a FlexBoss is a different type of system. It's also not fair to compare it to something like a Solarc, because Solarc thinks that they're a Ferrari and they charge a ridiculous ticket price for all of their products. But if you were to take something like this and get two of them, so you double the inverter, double the solar input, you would have a much larger system than a FlexBoss for the same amount of money. It's obviously going to be just off-grid. The FlexBoss has the opportunity to not be off-grid, but at the end of the day, like, way more bang for your buck buying two of these than one FlexBoss in an off-grid situation. It's hard to justify Solarc at all. That's why we're not even comparing to them, because like this one Solarc 18K is, I think, $6,600 or something.
18K new is on shop floor $6,700.
Yeah, which is insane. So when we're talking about value, you can't even bring something like that into the equation. You could buy, how many of these could you buy for the price of that?
Do you buy a car for the price of that?
So that's the simple version. We have a full review video of this on the channel already if you guys want to check it out. We just have been looking at it lately going, we really want to make sure that people are aware of this as an option, because we talk about the 6000 XP a lot, but when it comes to value and bang for your buck, like, you can't beat this thing. It is good. It's going on and off of a shelf all the time. We're constantly setting it up, putting it back, setting it up, putting it back. And it's like withstood everything we've put it through. It's in good shape. And we look at it and just think this is something that more people should be buying. And when you get it from somewhere like Signature Solar, it comes with nice support. We've mystery shopped them before. They're really good. So give it a look. Links are in the description. That's all we got for you guys. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.